First Peace Corps group in Ghana, West Africa. And that certainly was a monumental change in both of our lives. Alice continued with the Peace Corps, became a director of one of the Peace Corps groups, went back to Ghana and got a job on her own, and has since been honored by the students that she had there by their establishing a scholarship in her name that will be going in perpetuity. Yay for Alice. My road was a different one. I fortunately had some pretty terrific parents. As you know, those of you who were in the play reading group, we did the snowball, and I fessed up that once upon a time I had been a debutante, and it was not a life that I enjoyed a lot, but that's what my parents wanted me to do. So when I said that I wanted to be in the Peace Corps, I was ready for their objecting to, come on, white picket fence, you know, suburbia, children, 2.5 children. Yeah. They said, really? Why don't you go ahead? I was astonished. They came out to our training and met our trainers when we were in that process in California. That was in the good old days when they did the training, bad old days, in this country rather than in the countries to which we were assigned. And they liked that group of people very much. Were very impressed by them. So off I went to the Peace Corps, had a fabulous time, had students who you had to slow them down because the electricity at the school was turned off at 10:30, and they'd study under their blankets with flashlights and you know, work themselves into a frenzy to pass these external exams, which were made up in England, and without passing those they couldn't go on to college. But I came back. There had been a recruiter. This is also, I mean, happenstance has been such a wonderful part of my life. A recruiter from Yale who said that Yale really wanted a lot of us to come to be involved in the Master of Arts in Teaching program that they were just starting up at Yale. And so I took an application form, filled it out, and sent it off. And I was accepted by return mail, which was like 2 weeks later or more. I mean, the mail was pretty pokey back then. And so I went to Yale in the MAT program. And about that point in my life, I was, dare I say on camera, husband hunting. So I would frequently go to the Yale Law School for lunch, hoping to encounter some interesting people, which I did. But I also encountered a very fabulous woman who, at our lunch table, went around the table and said, what are you doing this summer? What are you doing this summer? And people were going to summer camp, or going to be an au pair somewhere, or going to be serving at Burger King. And she said, wait a minute, we're all here at one of the finest universities in the country. This was in the spring of 1964. And she said, we really ought to be a lot more involved. And so she went up to her room and wrote a proposal to the Mellon Foundation, and by golly, it was granted. And so 30 of us went to various states in the South. I went to South Carolina with 5 other people. We were housed by black families. We taught in the Black Baptist Church. 4 of us were white, 1 was black. If I was teaching whatever I was in English and I needed 5 more minutes, I could borrow 5 minutes from the math teacher, and you know, it was like a one-room schoolhouse. It was very compatible and wonderful. And we assessed our accomplishments at the end of the summer And it was like taking a lid off those students. They did close to 2 semesters worth of work in 6 weeks. It was incredible. Several of them applied for and got the BAC scholarships, no, ABC, A Better Chance, and were got scholarships to colleges. The group of the 5 of us one day were walking in downtown Charleston, and I dropped back to walk with the one black man who was in our group, and he turned to me, he said, "Would you like to get shot?" And I said, "What?" He said, "Don't walk with me."
Louder.
"Don't walk with me," because he was afraid that there would be violence. When we drove, the girls wore hats, men's hats, especially at night, so that they would think that we were men in the car. I mean, so we've all encountered, the 3 of us who have spoken have encountered that kind of frenzied activity that was going on. On the lighter side, 5 of us went into a restaurant one afternoon and sat down. We knew that was not to be done in Charleston. And the police came and they escorted us out. And I turned to one of the policemen and said, "Why haven't you arrested us?" And he said, "The jails are full." But that was really a magnificent summer. We felt so good about those students whose lives we had been privileged to touch. So the next summer I went back, lived with the same black family, but, and this is the kind of sad flip side, the Office of Economic Opportunity had heard about our success, and they took the program over, and instead of teaching in a one-room schoolhouse, the Baptist church, we were teaching in a school, and the students who came were paid. The kids who came the first summer were not paid. The classes were run by bells. There was no borrowing time from anybody else, and it was a disaster. There were a few students who gained from it, but it was, compared to what that informal, spontaneous, exciting time had been for the first summer, it was not so great. The only thing great, I wrote to Greg about this, the only thing great was that I met my husband there. So that experience has stayed with me for a long time. And going back to the Peace Corps, I had the distinct privilege to share a house for a year with Fifi Gona, Ophelia Delane Gona, whose father was one of the prime movers in the Brown versus Board of Education. But because his name began with D, it wasn't the Delane versus Board of Education. Pretty fantastic. Lucky lady. Lucky Laura. Thank you.